Hello and welcome everyone to this week's workout. Today we have a shoulder workout you can do from home. You'll just need a pair of dumbbells or a couple of pairs of dumbbells, a slightly heavier set and a slightly lighter set. We're going to do a variety of different moves for the shoulders. To start with, we'll get mobilized and warmed up, and for that we're just going to use a resistance band. It doesn't need to be a particularly tough resistance band because it's just a bit of work to get the shoulders nicely warm and mobile, ready for the harder work to begin. So I'd like to take hold of the band to start with, and we'll start with some banded shoulder dislocates. So we'll start hands out in front of us, band out in front of us, keeping the arms and keeping the tension in the band. We're going to take it overhead, keeping it controlled, just taking the arms as far behind you as you feel you can. So don't worry if you can't come all the way down. This is as far as you felt you could go. Stop there and then come back. We want to keep it under control. So what we don't want to do, you don't want to get to here and then suddenly jerk all the way down. You want to keep it nice and controlled while keeping a little bit of tension in that band the whole time, because that's just going to help warm the shoulders up. And I say we just keep it a slow, steady pace. That's good. Two more. So last one. And then we can just relax for a moment. We're going to keep hold of the band. We're going to take one hand up, one hand down, and then we're going to pull the band slightly apart and then bring it back together again. So as you pull apart, we're just drawing the shoulder blades together. Again, we'll just do this a few times going this way. If you need to hold more of the band to get it under more tension, or get hold of a lighter band, one more this way. And then we'll swap the hands over. Same thing, one hand up, one hand down, trying to pull the band apart. One more. That's good. And then we can rest for a second. We've got one more set of pull apart, so we're going to take the band out in front of us. And then we're going to pull the band apart and again bring it back in. Try and draw the shoulder blades back in together as we do. Again, just a few of these. One more. And then we can put our band down. So I'll just hang mine back up here. Okay, so shoulders should be feeling a little bit warm and a little bit mobilized and ready for some of the harder work. We are going to start with a Z-press with our dumbbells. So we're going to come down to a seated position. Here we'll take the legs out in front of us. And we can have a little bit of a bend in the knees so we can drive the heels into the floor, because we want to keep those feet down. Because the feet lift, we're going to end up rocking backwards, and we don't want that to happen. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring the weights up to the shoulders, and then from here we're going to press overhead, and then we're going to bring them as close back down towards the shoulders as we feel we can. As we press overhead, trying to get as full an extension of the arm as possible. We've got 3 sets of these. We're going to do 8 reps in each set. So we'll take hold of the weights, we'll bring them to the shoulders, then we're going to press overhead, and then we'll come back down again. So we're sitting nice and tall, we're driving the weight overhead. Keeping those heels pinned to the floor. Last one. And then we've got some recovery time. So we'll rest here. So like I said, when we're pressing, we're trying to sit up nice and tall. We don't want to be leaning back as we do this, because if we lean back, we're going to fall backwards. That's the other reason why we're going to try and keep those heels pinned into the floor, because that's going to help keep a nice stable or at least keep us stable, help us stay grounded as well. If you wanted a little bit more of a challenge without increasing the weight, we can bring the feet together and keep the heels with a narrower stance. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging because we have a narrow base. Then having those feet wider make you work a little bit harder. But the choice is yours. So a little bit longer recovery before set 2. And then we'll do the same thing again. So we've got 8 reps. Let's take hold of those weights. So we'll bring them back to the shoulders. We'll press overhead, sitting up tall. Last one. And again after 8, we can rest. We've got one more set of those. If the legs and hips are feeling a little bit tight, feel free to give them a little shake out, a little release during the recovery before we start our final set. Engaging the weight. If you want to use a weight where you find you've got for this rep range, where you feel like you can maybe do another 2 more reps. So when we're stopping at 8, you should feel like you should be able to do about 10 with the weight that you're using. I'm using a pair of 17.5 kilo dumbbells. Feels about right for me for this one. Everyone's going to be different to start with. Something a little bit lighter if you need to, and then you can always build it up to where you feel you can get to that point where you've got 2 reps left in the tank at the end of each set. So a few more seconds. We'll go for our 3rd and final set of these. Okay, we'll take hold of the weights again. We'll bring them to the shoulders and then we'll press overhead. One more. And then we can rest. So these can be done with the kettlebells as well. If you haven't got access to dumbbells at home, we can use dumbbells or kettlebells, whatever we have available to us. But enjoy a little bit of recovery. Next up, though, after our recovery, we have pike press-ups. So here we're going to be in an inverted V position, or also known like as a downward dog or a pike position. So the hips are going to be high. We're going to have the hands out in front of us, and then we're going to lower down into a press, like a press up position, and then we're going to press back up, keeping those hips high. So quick demonstration. So I've pushed my hips up high, then I'm going to bend the arms, bring the head down towards the floor, then I'm going to press back up, driving through the shoulders. So we have 2 sets of these. We're going to do 8 reps in this as well. And it might take a little while to set them up. You don't have to do them on your dumbbells. You can do them with your hands on the floor. If you don't feel stable doing them on the dumbbells, or if you don't feel stable doing them on the kettlebells, choice is yours with your hand position. I like to have my hands at a slight angle. That feels more comfortable than having them dead straight. But yeah, choice is yours. If your hands are on the floor, remember to spread your fingers. That gives you a wider area to grip and push back through. So we'll go for that first set. So we're going to take those hips up high, and then we're going to lower the head down towards the floor and drive back up. 2 to go. And then we can rest. We've got a bit of recovery time before our second set. So we have one more set of those in a moment. A little bit longer recovery. Okay, let's get set up for our second and final set of these. So again, we come into that pike position. And we'll bend the arms, lowering the head down, and then we'll press back up. One more rep. And then we can rest. So we're done with those pike press ups. I'll put these dumbbells to one side. For the moment, I will need them again in a little bit. So next up, after a bit of recovery, we have a raise combination that we're going to do. So we're going to start with some reverse flies. Then we're going to come straight into some lateral raises and then straight into some front raises. So we're going to do 6 reverse flies, 8 lateral raises, and 10 front raises. In the reverse fly, it's that hinge from the hips. Nice strong core brace. We keep a little bit of a bend in the elbows. We're lifting the arms up and out to shoulder height, or as close to shoulder height as we can, drawing the shoulder blades back as we do. Then we're going to come up, lateral raise, keeping a slight bend in the elbow, so the hands come out a little bit in front of the shoulders. Again, coming up to as close to shoulder height as we feel we can, not throwing ourselves into it. And then we'll, same front raise, still keeping that slight bend in the elbow, lifting up and out in front of us, keeping all of them at a nice steady tempo. A little bit of a pause at the top of each rep. Not too long a pause, just make sure we hold for about a second before we come down, keeping that tension in the muscles a little bit more. We've got 2 rounds of these. We're going to do 8, like I said, we're going to do 6, 8 and 10 of the 3 different moves, and they come back to back, so we don't recover till we've done all 3 of them. So let's grab our weights. I'm going to go for a set of 5 kilo dumbbells for this one. Don't need to go very heavy on these. It's more about focusing on the range of motion and that squeeze as well. So we'll start with the reverse fly. So a hinge from our hips, slight bend in those elbows, then we're going to lift up and out, bring the shoulder blades together, and then back down. Trying to bring those arms as close up towards the shoulders as we feel as possible. So after 6, we'll stand tall. We're going to come into our lateral raise. Again, keeping that slight bend in the elbow, lifting this close up towards shoulder height as we feel we can. There's 8 of these. And there we go. Into our front raises, same thing. Keeping them at that steady tempo. And then once we've done 10, we can pop those down and we can have a little breather. We've got 30 seconds, and then we're going to go into our second round of these. So not too long a recovery for these ones. And we'll go into our second set, which will be our final round of these. And again, we'll do 6, 8 and 10 15 seconds to go. Really get a bit of a pump on in the shoulders with these. Okay, 5 seconds, so we'll take hold of those weights again. And then we'll hinge forwards. Let's go for those reverse flies. And after 6, lateral raises for 8. And then after 8, that front raise for 10. And then after 10, we can rest, so we can pop those down. And we can recover. So we've got one more exercise for today's shoulder workout. We're gonna come into some dumbbell upright rows. So weight in each hand, standing tall, we're gonna drive the elbows up to shoulder height, lifting them as high towards the shoulders as we feel we can. They can lift a little bit higher than the shoulders. We've got 2 sets of 8 reps of these as well. I'm gonna go for the 17s, again 17.5 kilo dumbbells. We wanna try and maintain the best range of motion that we feel we can, and try to minimize throwing the rest of the body into it as well, so we can really focus on targeting those shoulders. So let's take hold of our weights. Standing tall, we drive the elbows up and out towards shoulder height. And again after 8, we can pop our weights down. We've got a little bit of recovery time before our final set of these. And then after that final set, that'll be the end of our home shoulder workout. About 30 more seconds recovery, then we'll go for that final set. So you've got 8 more reps. Okay, last set of these, let's go. So 8 reps. So we keep it controlled on the way back down. And again after 8, we can pop those weights down, and there we have it. There's our at-home shoulder workout for you. Hopefully your shoulders feel good. Hopefully you enjoyed that workout. If you have any questions, send us a message, drop us a comment below. But please like the video, and I hope you guys take care, and I'll see you in the next one.